Hey Jinthu, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, man. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Great. I appreciate you coming on. Yeah, what time is there? You're in Sri Lanka right now.
Yes, actually, it's 12:15 a.m. the morning.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on with us. We've been talking back and forth for the past few months, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, especially in light of everything that's going on in the world right now, and especially in Sri Lanka. So I'd love to take this time to kind of dive deep in what it means to be a founder during especially the current climate, and especially what you've done so far with Mood for Code. So before we start, could you give us an introduction on who you are and your company?
Yep, sure. And first of all, thank you very much, Ravi, for this opportunity for having me actually tonight. So basically, my name is Jinthushan Alexkumar, and I have completed my bachelor in computer science in University of Colombo in Sri Lanka. Then after that, actually, in the meantime, we were doing some freelancing works as a web developer and mobile application developer. Then last year, I started MoodforCode actually. So MoodforCode is for outsourcing software development and digital marketing and designs, which means we provide services in web development, mobile application development, and now we started blockchain and cybersecurity as well, including them actually. So that's the short description about us and me.
Yeah, I mean, Jinta, we got connected out of a few friends from the show. I think Mohan from Good News Ventures introduced us, and then Gajan, who's also does
Yeah,
a lot of marketing work, came up as well. So
yeah.
I love the fact that you were surrounded by a similar set of influences. But before we get into deeper into that, can you talk a little more about why you created Mood for Code and
Okay.
what it stands for?
Sure. So basically, the reason why I started Mood for Code is, what, like in Sri Lanka, especially in northern east province, some of them in Sri Lanka, if you want to go to the government university, which is totally free actually, but if you want to go there, you need to pass a cut of marks here actually. So some of them can go there. The really talented people they can go there, and you know what, the Sri Lankan education system. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it has to be restructured actually. So when it comes to that, some people are able to go to the public universities, and other people are going to the private universities. The people who have money actually. So I thought that some of them they are interested in IT and other stuffs, but they don't have enough money to go to the university. So I thought that why can we find some people and teach them? So because these people are good at A levels ICT actually, so which is enough for them to create a web application or mobile application, but they need some industrial experience and they need some like the concept proof of concepts and all. So we started taking as a batch, and we started teaching some people actually without any fees and all. We started teaching about how the website works, how the mobile application works, how you are going to code it, what are the things that you have to focus when it comes to developing applications. Then after that, after 6 month training, then we will take them as interns, which is totally paid actually. We will pay them for work here. Then after that, they get some real industrial experience. Like we have clients, so far we have clients over almost 10 plus countries, including Canada, USA, India, Australia, Germany, Switzerland, etc. Actually, so we are building tons of applications. So we are getting these individuals into that application. So that in the meantime, they can learn everything theoretically and practically as well. So now they have a really good idea about how this real application works. Then after that, after they complete the internship in the office, then they work as full-time employees. So last year I started MoodforCode just with three people actually. Currently there are more than 20 people working in MoodforCode actually just in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I really appreciate about you is that level of growth, and that aspect you talked about how you developed the talent pool that you currently have. Like you taught them, you put them through paid internships, and now you have this distributed resource of individuals who can design, develop, and come to you and get contracts through this ecosystem.
Yeah,
So you know, it almost reminds me of like what I'm not sure if you're familiar with what DAOs are, decentralized autonomous organizations.
yeah.
Like people have talked about how the internet will create these entities where people can learn, work, and exist. but you're starting from the ground level and building this entity up. Going back to everything you talked about, I think that's what really struck me about you is the fact that you are developing talent, and then all the resources that comes into Mood for Code now goes into now directly into the hands of individuals in Sri Lanka who are developing from the ground up, who are developing their new skill sets and things like that. But I really
Yeah.
want to dive into some of the struggles you've been facing because I know.
Uh,
Um, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, the one thing we started facing is like when we start this, we don't have enough people to teach everything because what I just started with two of my friends actually. So when we started, it was hard because we have to do the client works as well because only three people are working on the client project, and in the meantime, we have to teach our interns as well actually. So that was really hard, but some of my friends helped me as well. In the meantime, the people who are ready to learn everything, they did a lot of hard work actually. So because of that, the first batch was out. They are really good at what they are doing. Then what happened was we built like a hierarchy actually. So we are the top people. Then after that, the other batch. Now these batch can teach the other people, the newcomers actually. So that's how it's going now.
It's
And
like
in
a
the beginning,
self-fulfilling
actually,
cycle.
yeah, and in the beginning, so basically I come from a technical background actually, so finding the projects and all, it was really very hard for me. So when we were ready with everything actually, but after we completed some projects, we don't know, we had to find the project and all. So that's why I just went with some accelerator programs to improve my marketing and sales skills as well.
Yeah, and I think that's how we got in touch because some of the mentors from these
Yeah.
programs got us together. Um, so going back and discussing everything you built, you're coming from a technical background, developing others, and then going out and learning marketing and sales skills in order to bring in resources. How has that been? Because traditionally, coming from a Western standpoint, like Western Europe has been a source of talent, India has been a source of talent. Now, like the world is becoming a smaller place. So now it's not necessarily directly into country specific. There are portals you can go and access talent, like Fiverr and all these freelancer portals. How have you been standing out in this? Like how have you been getting contracts? How have you been competing against other localities?
Okay. So basically, 90% of the projects that we are getting through the networking that we have actually. But because of what we are doing, and we provide everything on time, and we provide good quality software for our clients. So like, let's say I'm building a product for you, so you are happy with that. So you suggest some of your friends like, okay, this guy's from Chefna, this guy's doing a lot of things like this. They build a good application for us, something like that. So that's how I just connected with a lot of people. Then after that, we were doing some sales and marketing through social medias and all. So through that we are getting the projects and all.
Yeah, so definitely a network.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things you got to love about our community is how deeply ingrained we are in so many different places and how willing we are to
Yeah.
help. And for me too, I left Sri Lanka when I was 6 years old, and and we talk about this. I lost touch of the language. So when I tell a lot of people that, oh, I'm working with companies back home, I'm trying to, I just this weekend, I mentored at the Y'all Geek Challenge, right? All the
Jalgi
people
challenge.
ask me, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, a lot of people ask me, it's like, how are you communicating? They look at me funny, like, you can't speak Tamil, you can't, speak Sinhala, you can't. How are you communicating? One of the things I'm shocked is, and I think a lot of people don't realize, is the education proudness that the island has. Everyone I've spoken to so far has been great in English and able to communicate, right? So coming back to that, has language ever been a barrier to the people you work with, or is it becoming more and more a common skill set?
So basically, some of the people who are attending the universities, they are okay with that. But the other people, the people basically they live in Jaffna, they are not going for the English medium schools. Actually, they are struggling. But what we do is like in our office, sometimes we tell them to talk in English. Like whenever it's a meeting or something like that, we are training them actually for the public. Then only we can improve this one as a skill actually, because from my perspective, English is a language, a common language actually, just like Tamil. So if you can speak Tamil, why can't you speak in English actually? So that's why I tell my people always. So they are really good at that. They are still learning. Some of them are still learning, but some of them are really good at that.
Yeah, and going back to Sri Lanka, I mean, there's a lot of diversity in Sri Lanka as well. Just because of Sri Lanka's past, a lot of Portuguese, a lot of Dutch, a lot of mixed people from mixed backgrounds. There are people there who have been from coming from African descent who lives there. Does diversity play a role at all in everything you do? Like, how does that look like within the country?
It depends actually. Like I can't comment on that really because it depends on the people's mindset actually. Like if you talk to some people, they are like that. But when it comes to other people, they are okay actually. I just wanted to help our community because the main reason is like the people from Colombo and other cities, they have enough facilities and all actually. Even though some people are not some people, most of the people are good at Jaffna at engineering or whatever it is. But these people are like going to other countries, or these people are going moving to Colombo and all. So these people are not ready to build a community. So that's what I like to do actually, because if you can just grow it, like there are lots of people, talented people in Jaffna actually, not only Jaffna, North and East provinces. So that's what my mission is about actually.
Absolutely. That's a great organization I got close with. It's from the Silicon Valley called Tap Tap Send. They work on remittances, and one of the things I learned from them is that the remittances being sent from North America to Sri Lanka is one of the biggest remittance markets in the world. And I was shocked because population-wise, I mean, it's only about 400,000, 500,000 now Tamils in North America who are sending money back home. But apparently, it's dense enough that it's one of the largest remittance markets. And them being a remittance company, they're aggressively going after that community to come into their platform. And looking back at this, it's something that's been in our community for quite a while now. The idea of sending money back home, right? Coming from the West kind of perspective. And here, there's this kind of notion that, like, people back home people have visited back home, and there's this idea that people have gotten lazy because
Yeah.
they have been getting money for so long from people from back home, and the economy has not developed. There's not much to do that they're reliant now on money being sent. Do you agree with that? Like, because talking to you, I can see a completely different lens, and now I'm going and telling people who tell me that's not true. What do you say to that?
So maybe I don't know about the old days, but these days are not like that actually. Because these days people have access to the internet and all. So these people are like, if you talk to a random kid in Sri Lanka, like from Jaffna or other provinces in a just a kid, he knows better than us about technology and all stuff actually. Like they will teach you sometimes. So these people are learning and improving actually. To be honest, I'm not going to say these people are lazy actually. These people are improving, but what they need is just a little push, and they have no idea what are the things out there actually. Just have to tell them these are the things. Blockchain is there, self-security is there, you can get this much of opportunity there. So that's what we have to do actually. If you just show them the path, they can travel there actually.
No, I love that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love working with you so much because the exposure you give to new ideas, new concepts, things like that. So, you talked a little bit about, why you built MoodforCode and, all the components that you needed to put together to get to where you are now. And it seems like just where you're at the point where you have now all this talent, you have all this kind of growth behind you, the current economic crisis is kind of sucking the wind out of you, right? Or at least making things a lot harder. All over the world right now, almost every country is dealing with inflation rates. The post COVID, everything's kind of broken down. Supply chains have been broken down. People are not traveling much anymore. How has that affected you in terms of like dealing with international clients, things like that? Or has it helped you because now Zoom is available?
All right. For the first question, actually, I think the reason why I started Mood for Code is so when I university, I got a lot of foreign opportunities, like for the work. Like I get an opportunity, like I think per annum it's $72,000 or something to work as a software engineer. But I rejected them all actually. So I just wanted to stay in my country, and this is my mission actually. I just wanted to teach the people. Even sometimes in my university and other stuff, I take sessions and all. Still, I go to Kilnachi or Mullaitivu to teach some people about the people. Some of them are actually they have no idea about there's a technology something like that. Yeah, they have no idea about digital marketing and all. So we go there and teach them actually these are things out there. You have to learn this. So something like that. So that's what I really wanted to do. That's what I'm passionate about. So that's why I started Mood for Code. There are some of the people who are teaching them actually. Some of the free institutes are there in like in Jaffna, other places also like Eastern Provinces, Vavuniya, Kalnashi. But the thing is, none of them are giving the industrial experience. That's what I am more considered about. Like if you teach somebody the theory only, they are not going to learn it actually. Like if you teach them the theory and after them, if you just give them an application and if you just connect with them a client, then they will get an idea. Okay, so this is how the world is working. The world is working there, but in Sri Lanka we are staying just a little bit here actually. So we have to improve our talents according to that. You know what? Like even sometimes when I work with foreign clients, their standards are really very different. Like you know what? If I meet a client from Asian countries, actually, sometimes they won't come to a time, right? So, but when it comes to European countries or like American countries, these people be on time and they work like they expect quality over quantity actually. So I just wanted to bring those things to Sri Lanka and Jaffna. So that's why I just started something like this. Okay, so we can build something like this. And for the second question, actually the world is under inflation and stuff actually, but Sri Lanka, I think you already know that like it's really very hard here. What happened was actually we had an office in Jaffna actually, and we were teaching some people from north and east provinces, and some of them came from central provinces as well. We started teaching them online and offline as well. Then what happened was the fuel crisis actually. So because of that, we had power cuts like sometimes 13 to 15 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours per day. So what happened was most of our clients are from different countries, as I mentioned earlier, like all over the world actually. So these people are like, they are waiting for the updates, but we can't give them because we don't have power to do the software development works. So after that, I was searching for like alternatives. So I thought that I can get a generator so I can give the power. For that, we don't have fuel in our country. Actually, we don't have the foreign currency issues. So because of that, I couldn't get it. So I thought that I have to find a better option. Then after that, I thought, okay, why don't we get a solar panels? Like if we get a solar panel and battery or UPS would be a good idea, right? So I thought that okay, that will be a good idea. Then after that, I tried to find some buy some solar panels actually. What happened was like the Sri Lankan government doesn't have enough dollars and all, so you can't import the solar panel to Sri Lanka. Some people were importing it illegally, but on that time you can't find it actually. You don't have enough stock and all. So I thought that okay, now what I'm going to do? Then I thought that okay, so it's better if I can find a place with inbuilt solar panel, then I can put the batteries and I can put additional solar panels there. Will be a good idea, right? So I tried to find some places, something like that, but I couldn't find anything on Jaffna or somewhere near in the North Province actually. Then I found a place in Colombo actually, and I talked to the owner actually, a single person. He said okay. Then after that we moved there, we built the solar panels and all there, and we built the batteries and all. Now even if it is Sri Lanka is under 24 hours power cut, then we can work with the solar panels and batteries actually. So that's the main problem I faced actually when I started this company, because like you are getting the project from the client, but if you're getting like 12 hours per day actually, I don't think so. You guys can, I don't know, maybe you can feel it or not. Like so that was really hard actually. So the building solar panel was a good idea, but even though like I can't move the whole team. The thing is like you know what, like there were, I think I mentioned 20 people in our office, right? So I can't ask all of them to move to Colombo because it's really expensive there. When you compare Jaffna and Colombo, it's twice expensive as Jaffna actually. So only the main core team is working in Colombo actually. The other people are working in their home actually, from their place actually. So they are working from home, and the main core team is working from the Colombo office actually. So that's how we are handling the situation these days. And you know what, like even to get the solar panels and batteries, what happened was I tried to apply for some loans in Sri Lankan banks, but because of this inflation thing, they are not even giving a loan for us actually. Then I borrowed some money from a friend actually. So that's how we handle this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were catching up during this time when the struggle was really real. The power cuts, especially. I mean, it's one thing to have spotty internet or bad internet, but if the power completely goes off, you can't charge your devices, you can't charge them. The modem has power or no power. Like we sometimes we forget. Like our world is so fragile. If like this one thing kind of moves away, everything kind of gets affected by it, especially in the modern age. So that's really cool that you were able to source power through solar panels and get out of that situation. I'm assuming the internet is satellite internet.
No, actually, it's not satellite internet. We are getting the internet from Singapore actually. Like sometimes what will happen is like we still face that issue actually. Like if the powers goes down, I think their signal towers, they will also go down, right? So on that time your internet will be slow actually, when we compare to the normal time actually. That problem is still there, but I don't know. We can't do anything for that, right? So we are just managing with that.
Yeah, I can imagine. So okay, so at least the internet at least you get some wireless internet coming in. I'm assuming it's is it cell
Yeah,
internet?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. Wireless is there actually. Is it good actually? And another problem we had was like, you know what? Because of the inflation and all of the prices went up. Like the fuel, the rice, the basic things, everything went up. So what we did was, all of our clients are foreign clients, right? To give the enough salary to our employees, what we are doing is we have a USD pegged salary actually. We made that in the last February actually. From that onwards, we are giving the salary in USD actually. So that's how we are. Even our employees are happy with us. That's the main reason. Because if the USD price is going up, then okay, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, okay, our prices are going up, so we can manage it actually. Because you know what, like even in Colombo, sometimes these days are it's okay, but some couple of months ago you can't travel actually. Like if you want to travel from one place to another place, you have to find the public transport. But when you go to the public transport, most of the people will be there. You won't get enough space actually. But if you want to travel in a three wheel, or if you want to hire a Uber or something like that, these people don't have fuel. Like they will ask you like 10 times the money that they used to ask actually. So that's how the situation was. So most of the employees are staying near our office, and some of them are staying in our office as well, actually. So that's how we are handling the situation these days. So maybe even if it is going worse, I don't know. I think we have already seen the worst. So even though if it is going worse, we can handle it actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So going back to that, governments all across the world are seeing an increased investment into innovation and new business development because they see new business as a way to get to develop more economic activity. And we're seeing record amounts of government investment going to this. Even in Sri Lanka, during this, there's been talks about investing in new business, but technology scenes. But yet, some of the VCs that I've connected with, and angel investors in Sri Lanka have left the country because they're also facing seeing the decline in the amount of companies that are forming and the added costs and the added risk, of course, decreases the amount of risk that you can take as a founder. Where is your
Uh,
mentality at during all this? Go ahead.
yeah, so we also tried for some funding and all, but the main thing, the main point I'm getting from my investors and VCs and all is to hear our story actually, because like their point is correct. I'm totally agreed with that actually. So another problem we had was like as I mentioned earlier, we don't have foreign currencies here. So like we have to pay for the servers and all, and we have to buy purchase some beams and all and other stuffs as well, right? So we have to pay for the services from here to the services that we are using. Like if you want to use an online account like Adobe or something like that, so we have to pay money. So what happened was like from the credit card Sri Lankan limit, they will only give you like around 150 or $180. So that wasn't enough for us actually, because if you want to pay for something, then you can't pay it, right? So for that, what we are doing is actually we registered a company in UK as well. Actually, in UK, what you can do is as a non-resident in UK, you can register a company in UK. You will get the document and all. So I registered a company in UK. So they gave me around, I think, nearly 50 currency account actually. Meaning like I can have different currency accounts via Wise and Tide Bank account. So that's how we are handling this another issue actually. Like if you want to pay something, I'm using my foreign card to pay for the services that we are getting from the other companies actually. Like if we have to pay for the AWS and other server stuffs, we have to pay for the G Suite and all. So that's how we are handling it actually.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So using foreign markets to able to address that issue. There's actually
Yeah.
a Canadian company that's been doing that's I think one of the fastest growing companies in Canada right now, and their particular problem is allowing for companies to have virtual cards that allows to convert in different currencies very quickly and easily. So this is becoming more and more of an issue. Now, coming back to foreign currencies and your costs, because most of your clients, if I'm correct, are are foreign companies from your perspective, right? They're outside of Sri Lanka. And you're bringing now revenue into the country. You're
Yeah.
and through that you're deploying employment. Has there been any benefit from the employment office, or because you're hiring and contracting people locally and you're doing business foreignly? How is economic support within the nation? I know you said bank. It was hard to get loans. It was hard to get things. But is there a more resources being applied from government or any kind of agencies towards supporting foreign endeavors?
So they are still planning actually, but none of them they didn't come online actually yet. But they are still planning. Let's see. I'm also seeking for some ways to get some loan and stuff. Then only we can improve ourselves. Actually, we also have to do some sales and marketing for ourselves. For that, we need some money actually.
Yeah.
So that's how we are just looking for it actually. But unfortunately, we couldn't find it actually. That's the main issue actually. There are some schemes and all people are still starting, but in a small level actually, not in a big level like funding a software company and all. I don't think so. There are some ways that even they tried to implement the cryptocurrency and all in Sri Lanka, but I think it went fail actually. I'm not sure
Mm.
about it. So these people are still trying some methods, but let's see.
Yeah, that was actually my next question about crypto. So I mean, crypto was talked about for the longest time, for the past half decade now, about being the solution for when traditional markets fail. All right, the digital currency, the currency of the internet, allowing for things. But it seems like crypto has also fallen during this time, and trust has gone down within those institutions. So yeah, going back to working within the foreign context of working with different entities in different countries. I think you mentioned you're working with different currencies, things like that. How are you learning about the finances and dealing with that? Because that's something that founders oftentimes, that's what really stacks them up. They can have the technical skills, they can have the business skills, they can get the sales, but knowing how finance works, how I know how taxes work, the legal things, right? That what slows down a lot of things. How are you navigating that?
Yeah, so basically, you are right actually, because I think I told you I came from technical background. I have no idea about how to run a company and all. I had this vision, but that's not enough, right? You have to be focused on how to run a company actually when it comes to running a company. So I went for an accelerator program in Jala Hub. So where I met Mohan Markandeya as my mentor actually. So he taught me a lot of stuff in when it comes to finance and economics actually. So I learned a lot from him actually, and I was attending some webinars and all, and connecting with people like you and learning about how sales and marketing working and how finance working. So how can I plan my financial planning and all? Okay, how can I plan this? So that's how I learned something. Even I haven't learned everything fully, but I'm still learning some of the stuff. But I know the basic finance and all, and how to handle a company and all. We already past our break even point actually. We are making profits actually. So I think it's going well.
Awesome. Can you talk a little more about the incubator accelerator programs and the support infrastructure for startups in Sri Lanka? Because when I
Yeah.
first heard about y'all IT Hub, it was like 4 years ago, and I was like, "Whoa, there's incubators and accelerators in Sri Lanka, and like there's software companies developing." And now that I've been ingrained more and more into the scene, I'm just blown away by the talent and the kind of ideas that are coming out of it. Can you speak a little to that experience?
Yes, sure, actually. So when it comes to Yala IT Hub, their main mission is making the Jaffna the next Silicon Valley. That's their mission, actually. So they're doing lots of things. So one is they are doing some school level competitions, actually. I'll speak a bit about them, actually, about Yala IT Hub. So they're doing some competition in the school levels, and after that, for the university and open levels as well. Apart from that, they are running different ideas like Ooki, Aki, something like that for different purposes, actually. Something is for teaching and something is for the online courses and all. So apart from that, what they are doing is an accelerator program. There are lots of accelerator program in Sri Lanka these days, but Jarati Hub is one of the earliest people who started accelerator programs actually. So what they are doing is you have to apply for that. Like what's happening in Y Combinator, the same thing actually. So you have to apply for that. So they will get all of your CVs and all, and they will select some of the companies from there who are capable for the accelerator program. Then after that, they will assign a mentor for us. So the mentor is going to guide us for 6 months, like monthly twice or weekly once, something like that. So they are going to give us advice on finance and marketing, sales, and how to improve the product and all. So after that, in the meantime, you will get nearly, if I am right, 600,000 LKR from Momentum Venture Partners. Actually, they are from Silicon Valley. Actually, so you will get a small pre-seed fund actually for the accelerator program that you are running. If you want, you can take it. Otherwise, you can lose it. I think most of the people, everyone needs money to run a startup, right? So most of the people are getting their money actually. So that's really helped me a lot in the beginning actually, because I have to buy some laptops and all. So that helped me a lot. So that's how the Jalati of the Accelerator program is ongoing. I think currently the fifth batch is ongoing, if I'm not wrong. I was the third. I was in the third batch actually.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, one of the main things you need from an incubator system is not just resources and mentorship, but oftentimes just cash, right? You need capital to jumpstart some great ideas. So yeah, I mean, so coming through this crisis now, the economic crisis is deepening. The political divides are deepening. One of my favorite quotes about this year came from Dreamforce at Salesforce's conference. Mark Bernioff talked about how, as a society we're all in a crisis of trust. We have we've lost trust in institutions. We've lost trust in our governments. We've lost trust in our leaders. We've lost trust in our politicians. We've lost trust in everything that's going around us. So in this kind of place, what people are really looking for is places where they can put their trust into. And I think this is where you kind of really stand out, because you're doing all these activities. You're developing people from the ground up. You're giving economic opportunity. You're giving them knowledge and support. How has the community been around this? Generally coming from a South Asian background, most parents, don't want you doing a business. They want you to get a nice, comfortable job that is consistent, and have the base bill. How is the community around you? How's your family been? How's your support structure?
Yeah, so that's totally true. I agree with you actually. So basically, my family is like, even my mom is saying like, why don't you just go as a lecturer? Actually, I got some opportunities for lecturing in some universities actually. So she's like, why are you struggling something like this? Why don't you just go to a normal job? That's fine for us actually. If you can make some couple of bucks, then it will be fine. So like sometimes I'm not gonna argue with them, because these people are, they have seen enough actually. So that's why I don't argue with them actually. Most of the people are like that. If they get a job, that's fine for them actually. If they study well, then after that they get a job, that's fine. So only some of the people are getting with startups and all to help the community actually. Then only we can bring the US donors in, and we can provide more job opportunities as well, right? So that's the main thing actually.
Yeah, so I love that being mission oriented and being community focused, trying to build up where everyone else is just trying to resource for themselves. I agree with you. Like I see that as a potential too. I mean, the main reason why many founders go into this, and oftentimes, we have this capability is like, founders want to go and change the world. Like they want to have these
Yeah.
kind of effects, but truly, you just want to be able to make your mark on the world, and that's different from just changing the world, right? Like it's you being able to script your environment around you by being able to deploy leverage, whether it be capital or whether it be specific labor, being able to building products, delivering services. Through these kind of acts, you kind of actually can shift the reality around you. So how has that been for you? So through Mood
Yeah.
for
Okay.
Code and through all that, like how has that been? The struggles, was it worth it? Do you looking back, I know how are you reflecting back on your time spent?
Yeah, to be honest, actually, I'm happy because we have onboarded 20 people to work with MoodforCode. That's I'm really happy about it. And apart from that, currently the monthly revenue we are making is four times what we are making last year actually. So I'm okay with that, because okay, we are doing better, which means we are doing better, right? We are giving enough salary for everything, and we already passed our break-even point as well. And another problem most of the Sri Lankan companies are facing is like, most of the Sri Lankan employees, they are moving abroad actually. Like I think most of them are coming to Canada, to be honest. So like they are moving to Canada, UK, USA, something like that. So we don't have that much of problem, because we are training the people and we are getting them as employees. Sometimes we hire actually, if we need, actually we hire from outside as well, because of some of the posting actually. But we are not that much of facing the employees issue actually. So I feel lucky for that actually, because this idea works for me actually. Okay, people are learning, and okay, they are earning also actually in the meantime, and this is going to be a hierarchy actually. Then after that, I hope next year will be 20 to 40 or 50. That's what I'm planning about. Let's see how it goes.
No, that's a great vision. Speaking of that, what does the future look like? When you started this, to till now, has the vision changed? What are your goals and hopes for what you want to do with Mood for Code?
Yeah, to be honest, after I start Mode for Code, lots of times I feel like okay, I just need to give this up and move on. Some lots of days were like that, like some of the mental pressure and all, and sometimes the client is not paying us on time, but I have to give the salary for my people, something like that, and I was really fed up. The one thing I thought was okay, I started this anyway. I have to finish this. I'm not gonna give up actually. Whatever the situation is, I'm not gonna give up. So that's the main reason why I'm still standing. Actually, there were lots of things even the fuel crisis and all everything was bad because we were just a child company, right? Like we started baby company. Actually, we just started for like 1 year actually. So that's the main problem I had actually. When it comes to the future, now we are confident. Like we have seen the worst already. So I'm pretty sure that whatever is coming up, we can face it actually, and we are focusing on our goal actually because even the world is going under the inflation, right? So some people are like when it comes to inflation, people are going to down, but only some people are going to build the wealth in the inflation. So that's what we are planning to do actually. So if you build the wealth in inflation, when it comes to the normal stage, you will grow a lot, right? So that's what our plan is about. So as I said earlier, we are planning to onboard at least 40 to 50 employees by end of next year actually. That's what our main goal is about. So if we can get it, we will make more revenue as well. So our community will grow actually. So I think if I'm right, so one day we will start an institute like Silicon Valley or something like that, maybe in 10 years or 15 years in Jaffna also actually.
That's amazing. I really like that. There's a great, somebody once called me. It was actually last year. So one of the things I started doing was when I started teaching, teaching. I started teaching in the university environment. I felt like I was teaching because I couldn't actually do what I needed to do. I started three companies, failed at each one of them, and then ended up becoming like an entrepreneur residence and did that. And the title sounded great. I was like super young doing that, but I felt like a failure as a teacher because that quote, right? Those who cannot do teach, and that kept running through my head. But somebody called me last year, and they heard me talking on Clubhouse, and they're like, Ravi, you're a great teacher. And one of the things about great teachers is that you can always develop the talent you need, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person. And what I love about your model is that you're constantly creating the talent pool that you can resource from the future. So as you develop and as you move forward, your employees become more senior and more skilled, and because you have that now, that leverage, because they have that loyalty to you because you gave them the skill sets, and even if they move on, they can recommend others and work part-time, and like you said, come back and teach and build upon the next generation. So you have this kind of vehicle that's kind of spinning now. So what does it look like to reach that goal? What do you have tangible milestones in mind, or is it right now you're still trying to figure out how to scale? Where's your mindset?
Yeah, so we have some milestone and KPIs in our mindset actually. But sometimes, we face issues like, like when we onboard like 5 or 6 people, like only 4 or 3 of them are going to stay with us. Two of them, they study everything from us, they are going to leave. But that's okay with me actually. The main reason is like, I can't be 100% correct always actually. That's what I say to my people actually, always. So it's like I hired 10 people to teach them actually. So 8 of them are okay with that. They just the main reason why I'm getting and teaching them is like I just want them to learn, and at the same time I just want them to teach it to the other people as well. So that's my goal is about. Even if you are not with us and if you are teaching to other people, I'm happy about it actually. And okay, you learn everything from us and you are working in a good company with good salary, fine. Because that's what my goal is about. Like if it is like like if it is like just running a company, I can simply just take people for without teaching. I can just hire the people and I can run the company without any issues. Like so most of the people they come here, they stay here, but some of them are leaving. That's totally okay for us actually. So our idea is to build a community, so they are also including in that particular thing actually. So we have some KPIs as well. We are working towards that. But the main fallback we have is like the Sri Lankan fuel crisis and the economic crisis, because most of the people have started leaving the country. Actually, that's the main issue these days. So I don't know, maybe like if the most of the people are leaving, and you know what? I think 2 days ago, Sri Lankan government announced that Sri Lanka is coming back to from middle income country to low income country. I think this happened 2 days ago, and they started taxing the IT people. One good thing about Sri Lanka is, maybe I don't know, maybe you guys know or not. In Sri Lanka, you don't need to pay any taxes for the IT industry, actually, for the technology stuffs. As a startup founder, you don't need to pay any taxes, actually. That was good, even for the employees. But after that, I think today or yesterday, they started raising the tax for the IT industry, because that's where the money is coming to Sri Lanka. The main income stream was tourism. Then after that, the IT industry. That these days, because of the COVID and all, and the crisis Sri Lanka is going through, so the tourism is not doing well. So the main revenue stream is these days, if I'm right, the IT industry, the technology industry. So they started taxing these people as well. I don't know where it's going then. That's what I'm really caring about, because some of the things that you can control, so like if it is come to my thing or regarding my company or my people, I can control it, actually. But some of the things you can't control it. So I'm not going to worry about that. But if that comes, let's see, we'll plan something. Their solution always. That's what I think, actually.
I love that mentality. I mean, going back to that, like one of the things I try to focus myself on is because I lost the language of the country. You know, I came here, I came to Canada, fluent in Tamil, Sinhala, and in English. Right, I went to an English medium school, speak Sinhala with my friends living in Colombo, and then being born in Jaffna, I spoke Tamil with my family. And then I came here and I lost the first two and I had to relearn the English language because I spoke in the British English, like
Yeah.
from back home. So I had language has always been a struggle for me. But I've taken upon myself to kind of learn history. Learn the history of our people, where they came from, things like that. And one of the things about the island of Sri Lanka that during especially the British occupation is that during colonization, yes, a lot of resources were taken out of the country, but the main resource that was a continual resource seen by even the British Empire was the talent pool. Right, Sri Lanka was seen as a pool of talent, and a lot of administrative talent for a lot of industries came out of Sri Lanka. Right, lawyers, accountants, doctors, engineers, they came out of that, and because of that, there's been a love of learning and a focus on education and learning throughout, especially in Sri Lanka, but South Asia in general is always skewed higher on that. And I think what you're providing, a new outlet to learn, a different way to learn and grow is there, but we're seeing this globally. I mean, globally, we're under a talent shortage almost in every sector, right? We don't have enough labor to fulfill that, and we don't have talent. And talent is a little different from labor, right? Because talent is a capability to come in and add a little extra flavor into what you're doing. And we're moving from this the information age to the knowledge age, right? Knowledge workers are becoming a thing where people who know things and how to use machines and how to build systems, outperform those who don't. So one of the things they're seeing is that more and more jobs are paying more for less people because less people can do more. So as we kind of develop, as you become a place to develop knowledge and develop people, I think it's gonna become a instrument to grow a larger and larger talent pool. That being said, I want to talk about how you're diversifying now, especially going into cybersecurity, Web 3.0. How has that skill set development been, and where are you resourcing that, and how are you yourself continuing to learn?
Um, yeah, so I agree with you, actually. The one point is like, you know what? Accidentally, actually, I get to that point. Actually, I didn't start something like that. Okay, I just wanted to create the knowledge pool. Actually, my goal is to teach some people and to help the community. Actually, but unfortunately, we started solving that problem also. Okay, I know that lots of the startups are like this. Like, they solve one problem, but unfortunately, they find another solution also. So. Your question was right. It was hard to find the resources for cybersecurity and Web 3.0. If I am not right, there are some Web 3.0 companies and blockchain companies in Sri Lanka, but they are not outsourcing anything. They are just using in their own product, but they are not outsourcing everything. But we are outsourcing as a service for the foreign companies. Like if you are coming with a new idea in blockchain or Web 3.0, we can make into the product or service, actually. So to be honest, to learn that, like, we don't have enough resources. For myself and some of the seniors in MoodforCode, we started learning, actually, the Web 3.0 and blockchain. Then we started teaching our people. So we are still into the blockchain. We are not an expert in that, but blockchain is going to be the future if I'm not right, because we moved from web 1.0 to web 2.0, like the Wikipedia and stuff are coming to the web 1.0. Web 1.0 means you can just read, you can't just write a comment, or you can give any feedback, you just read and come back. Web 2.0 means you can interact actually, like YouTube and Facebook, you can go there, you can talk to the people and all. But the thing with the problem with web 2.0 is the data, somebody has it. Like, you know what, my phone knows that I'm still here. If I move 1 meter from here to there, they know it. If I talk to something with you, Facebook will always listen to us. So that's the main problem with web 2.0. Web 3.0 is like, decentralized. They are not storing any details from you. So that's where the future is moving. It may take around if I'm not right, 10 to 15 years for the Sri Lankan people actually, but we started earlier. That's what I'm happy about actually. So even though there are not resources, we are just finding resources from online, and we are finding some mentors like you, like you are teaching us sales and marketing. I think you have taught me something. So like that, we are finding some people, the experts in our community. You can find a lot of Tamil people, lots of Tamil learned guy, and you can find lots of people internet to teach them. There are lots of people with the same vision. They just want to share the knowledge actually. Like what I will believe in is like, if you share the knowledge, it's not going to reduce from you. You will get more knowledge actually, from my perspective. Some of the people that's what they are thinking actually. Okay, if I know something, okay, I don't want to tell it to somebody else actually. If you teach them, you learn a lot actually, because the person you are teaching, they will ask you some doubts and stuff. Okay, you will start thinking, okay, so that's how we are learning most of the things. And when it comes to cybersecurity, I started this IT field in cybersecurity actually. So I have enough experience in 2015. So the cybersecurity and blockchain things ongoing actually. So we will make a change in Sri Lanka definitely, because these two fields are not specifically available in Sri Lanka. So we are the one who started first. So we will make definitely a great change in Sri Lanka. And if none of them started this, then we can start it, and we can be the resources for the other people actually. MoodforCode will be the resources for the cybersecurity and Web 3.0 and blockchain.
I love that. I really like that, how simply you explain the Web 3.0 movement and your interplay into that. Perfect. Jintu, as we close up here, I
Sure.
love to get a little bit of a statement about how people can work with Mood for Code, how people can get involved, especially with all the initiatives happening in Sri Lanka through yourself. Where can people reach you?
So basically, it started spreading actually. Like we are taking as a batch, we are teaching the people and something like that. So mostly what we do is like, we call for intern jobs or something like that. We got a lot of CV. So last time also I called for like intern project manager. We got around like, I think 40 or 50 CVs. So before that I called for a designer. We got around 200 CVs, something like that. So from that we are just filtering the people. But how we are filtering the people is people who are interested in this field, and they have some barriers, like financial barrier, or they don't have laptops. So that's how we are filtering the people, and we are getting the people in for nowadays these days. So we hope we can we like to take everyone, but the main thing is, one thing is, we are not that financially fit yet. We are still okay, but we are not that much better actually. So we have to make sure that we are going to take each and everyone that going to apply for Mood for Code. So that's the main vision for us actually. So if we can take everyone that who is going to apply, and if we are going to interview them actually, first of all, like like when it comes to this, lots of people just come and go. So I don't want them to do that actually. If you are really interested, you can come and learn here actually. So our goal is to, like, if we get 100 CVs, and if we are okay with 50 people, and we have to take all the 50 people. So that's what our main mission is about actually. We don't like to say no to anyone actually. We have to teach as much as we can.
I love that. Perfect. So yeah, if people were to contact you and they want to support you, where can they best find you?
The best will be our website or any other social media. So you can just search for Mood for Code actually, or moodforcode.com. You can simply reach out to us actually. We will be available
Perfect.
in all social medias. Yeah.
Perfect. Jintu, thank you again for your time and coming on here. I learned a lot. We've been talking a lot, but I feel like I still learned a lot about you. Every time we have a conversation, there's always something enlightening there. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Ravi. I just like to thank you actually, because you are the one just inviting for me this event actually. Thank you very much for this actually. I hope we can do a lot of things together in the future. I like to work with
Absolutely.
you.
Will
Yeah.
do. Thank you, Jintu. See you
Okay.
soon.
Thanks, man. Okay. See you. Bye.